Hello and welcome to the first development log for Engineer's Nightmare. My name is Caleb, and I will be your host. As this is our first devlog, I'd like to start by taking some time to introduce you to the game. Engineer's Nightmare is a game about building a spaceship and keeping it running while a universe tries to tear it apart. During the course of a normal game, you might build custom airlocks, install life support systems, manage power loads, run miles of wiring, perform routine maintenance, root out and eradicate space termites, and repel boarders, all while trying to not expose yourself to hard vacuum. Engineer's Nightmare is under open development. If you'd like to contribute to the game, you can find us on GitHub. If you want to join the conversation, you can find us on IRC. Information on accessing both can be found in the description for this video. We've added a shipbuilding system that is fairly rudimentary, with plans for it to expand into something that will make it much easier to build large ships. Personally, I don't look forward to building a 500-meter long ship, block by block. At the core of our shipbuilding system is this concept of framing. The framing system allows us to treat the insides of blocks as usable space. It's currently possible to place entities, such as lights, inside of a block. Framing will be super useful for those who like to hide their wiring in the walls. Framing also allows us to treat every face of a block as a first-class citizen. Some games restrict you to placing single block types. In Engineer's Nightmare, we can place a framing block, then add a window to one side, a vent to another, and solid surfaces to the remaining. Such a block might be fairly useless, however. Engineer's Nightmare employs a lighting system based on 3D textures. This gives us easy, fast, and relatively attractive lighting, with pseudo-ambient occlusion, but it's not as robust as we'd like. However, it's still fake. It's a fake lighting system and it won't cast realistic shadows, nor does it support dynamic or colored lights. While building a ship, you'll often need to place entities. Entities are game objects that can perform an action. Potential entities include oxygen sensors, carbon dioxide scrubbers, and display panels. Entities can be hooked up to each other to change functionality or augment capabilities. On the code side, entities are composed of up to many lightweight components that allow us to easily add the ability to modify behavior. Engineer's Nightmare currently has just a few entities implemented. Lights and switches, and partially implemented entities for gas production and display panels. I mentioned that you are able to hook entities to each other. This is done via our wiring system. Still in the early stages, wiring will allow us to isolate disparate systems while maintaining communication between entities that rely upon each other for full functionality. Currently, the wiring is just pretty visuals. Eventually, wiring will be a fully realized system capable of carrying messages back and forth between entities. Entities will be able to respond to messages or inject their own. Some entities might carry messages on to further networking nodes. This might introduce latency, which could cause some interesting dynamics to develop. We intend to do the work to make the wiring system more robust sometime in the near future. This system won't be used for just inter-entity communications, but also for routing power and fluids to various areas of the ship. If you care about an attractively wired system, you'll probably spend a lot of time in the framing. As I mentioned previously, the wiring will work through the inside of the framing. As this is still a fairly new project, not all of the fundamental systems are in place yet. One of the features we intend to land soon is networking. An empty ship is a sad and lonely ship. We all look forward to seeing simulacrums of each other undergoing rapid, unscheduled decompression. Also on the schedule is an atmosphere model. We are planning on supporting various gas mixtures, breathable and otherwise, maybe even extending into flammable and corrosive fluids and gases. Patching leaks in zero gravity sounds like fun, right? As I mentioned when I talked about lighting earlier, we plan on revisiting our renderer. Details on what that will look like are scant at the moment. We do know that we will be adding better lighting support. Further details are still undecided at this time. We think we have a really cool concept here, and we have a lot more features planned. They won't build themselves, however, so we've got our work cut out for us. That said, we are open to accepting contributions. If you think Engineer's Nightmare sounds awesome and that you might like to contribute, you can find our GitHub link in the description below. Also, you can find us in IRC, also in the description. That about covers it for this development log. We'd like to try to get these out about once a month. We'll have to see how that goes. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next time for Engineer's Nightmare Development Log number 2.